Welcome to the Grandstand Golf Podcast. This is the weekend golf update for the Waste Management Phoenix Open and the Saudi International. I'm your host, Adam Bapty, and as always, I'm joined by my brothers, Kevin.
Hey, everybody.
And Craig.
Hi.
Oh, Craig, we got a real Ross right over there.
Oh, hey guys, how's it going?
Sunday brought you down or what?
No, I just wanted to, bring it in low and build from there.
Okay, well, why don't you give us a quick tournament recap here?
Okay, so, biggest crowd we have seen in golf in a while. We were at the Waste Management Phoenix Open, TPC Scottsdale, Sonoran Desert. I love this course. Usually it's the one that is raucous. It felt like it at moments, but to me, the story of the tournament starts with Xander, ends with Brooks. Xander went out there, scorched out of the gates, 12 under through 2 rounds, shot the quietest 65 I think we've seen in a while on Saturday. And that was because Jordan Spieth happened. Jordan Spieth shot a 61, 10 birdies, lowest round he's had since 2015. He turned back the clock. We saw a glimpse. But unfortunately, neither of them brought their game on Sunday. Brooks Koepka took over 31 on his back nine. He had 2 eagles on the round, 3 birdies in a row on that back nine, an improbable, I would say, eagle chip in on the 17th. And he took it down. He came to play, had missed 3 cuts in a row coming in, and first win since the 2019 FedEx St. Jude. So, you guys, 3 cuts coming in. Predictions? You guys saw this coming in?
Well, I mean, he was my stock down last week. So, clearly, as I thought he might, Brooks, an avid listener of the program, I believe, I that's what somebody told me anyways. I wanted that to motivate him a little bit.
Oftentimes kick back and listen to a good Grandstand Golf pod, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, clearly, he used that as motivation. I'm hoping he brings out the Kevin Bapty clown shirt pretty soon after this. But no, obviously didn't see it coming. I don't even know I don't know about you guys, but until maybe 15, I didn't even really think he was in contention for this tournament. I know he was up there, but I wasn't really thinking it was going to be him.
Well, I mean, just because Xander and Jordan started so far ahead today, I think we thought it was going to be one of those two. But Brooks finished with a huge string of birdies on Saturday. And then, 15, you could kind of see because Hahn was in his group and was the leader at the time. When he splashed it, I think whoever was on the course, Bones, maybe said, Brooks is like a shark that just tasted blood for the first time. Like, here we go. Brooks feels it. And it's a pro shot.
Point, Hahn was up in the lead by himself. Like, he was clear of everyone.
Yeah.
I actually thought, and so that was the one where Brooks hit it fairly tight in 2 on the par 5, and then he missed the eagle putt, and I was like, I think he needed to make that one if he really wanted to have to charge here. Yeah. And I was wrong. He tapped in his birdie, and he managed to make the eagle a couple holes later. But yeah, it just felt like Brooks. I think sensing blood in the water is the best thing, but it felt to me like he saw this tournament, felt like no one was going to go out and win it. Yeah, and he was like, sure. Well, I'm good at winning golf tournaments. So if no one's going to go out there and do this, I'll do this.
It did bring back memories to kind of like 2017, 2018, 2019 when he was Brooks, because he's got to be super frustrating. If you're a Brooks fan and a Brooks backer, you're like, if he has a sniff of the lead, you're like, okay, I'm confident. Like, he wipes the putter, and you feel confident in every stroke he kind of steps over with the ball. But if you're not, you're kind of like, why is this guy popping all of a sudden? Like, I haven't seen this at all, for 5 tournaments. Why is he popping right now?
Yeah. Well, I mean, in his post-round interview, he said he actually likes the way he's been playing. He just...
I really liked his post-round interview.
I did too, actually.
I thought he was candid and showed a little bit of vulnerability, which is something you don't see from Brooks a whole lot.
No,
I don't know if he thought
admitting that,
but he said that he had been in really dark places mentally during his rehab recovery.
Yeah, admitting that he didn't know if he was ever going to get back to physically where he was before.
His knee, right? So, if his knee would ever be the same as his other knee.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it's a huge thing. If you're not comfortable with your body, you can't take the aggressive swing that you're used to taking. It changes everything. It just totally throws you out of whack. So, Yeah,
But I think beyond that, I think sometimes we underestimate the mental impact of these guys going through physical rehab. Like it is very, very draining on them to know that they have the ability, but then to not know whether they're going to get back to there because of an injury. The first time in their lives, probably their body has not done what they want it to do, and then not knowing whether you're ever going to get back to what you think you are capable of. I think that's, yeah, it's a scary place that you can go to mentally, I think.
One thing I will say about Brooks winning this time is I struggle to think of a time where one shot was so clearly what won it for him as in this case. Like that chip in, I think at the time put him too clear of the lead. But all of a sudden it was like, if those guys behind want to catch him, they need to start making like they need to start going on birdie runs here. Even if he just birdied that hole, he would have had to birdie 18 to kind of really set a bar that people had to get to 19. But
right.
By getting to 19 there, and then he not birdieing 18, he was already there. And a couple guys had a chance. Obviously, Schauffele had a chance until he put in the drink on 17 there. But I mean, what.
And I think we need to move on to Schauffele. But before we do, I think the one thing that to me about Brooks, what you were saying, how it didn't really ever feel like he was in contention. Like he was. So I have his round rankings. After the first round, he was 21st. After the second round, he was 8th. After the third round, he was still only 7th. And then it really was not until very, very late on Sunday that it even felt like Brooks was in contention in this tournament.
I mean, honestly, until he chipped that one in, I didn't think he was gonna.
Well, I felt like if he made birdie there, like what you were saying, where if
he went birdie,
he would have been in good shape. Yeah. But obviously chipping in that changed everything there.
I mean, a quick aside, I think
the tournament.
That closing stretch of 15 a gettable par 5, 16, which is actually a pretty easy par 3, but it plays
easy to make a mistake too. But
it plays 0.3. Harder just because of like the environment than a typical par 3 of that yardage. And then 17, we love that drivable par 4, but it's a tricky green complexes with those hills right in front of it and the water left. And then 18 has been kind of gettable all tournament. Great close. I really like this tournament for the drama down the stretch because you feel like you're in it if you have a couple holes and a couple strokes to make up.
High like shot, which like to me ultimately you have those type of shots coming down the stretch, it makes for good entertaining golf. But Xander, I think Xander's the next. We'll get to Spieth.
I think Xander. I mean, I would say he's the story too of the tournament. I mean, he looked so dominating all the way through and just was. I mean, flat on Sunday. Like complete his short game was kind of atrocious. I love Xander. Like I'm a huge Xander fan, but it was kind of. This sounds harsh, but kind of pathetic his performance on Sunday. Like,
it's becoming a trend now. We've talked about it before. This is now his 8th second place finish since the last time he won. What is he now? 0 for 4 with 54 hole leads. I still don't. I mean, going out there and shooting 71 today, it makes it feel like there's something that's keeping him from being himself when he's sleeping on the lead.
Scoring average is about 69, about 2 strokes better than par. So
Xander's
as
scoring
a leader,
average was 66 or 65 on
65 all week. Yeah. So it's obviously a course he can get, and so I agree. I think there is something else that's there. He even alluded to it in his comments after the round that it does get a little tight in the last group, and you feel it. You feel the nerves a little bit more, and I think his comment was that he's going to lick his wounds and he's going to get back out there. But it's something. He started. I mean, he was 1 over on the front 9. He was 2 over through 7. Finally made his first birdie on 9, but he was totally stuck in neutral all day.
Yeah, and I think for all the success that Xander has had up till now, I think he's still in the process of learning how to win. Like, obviously he has won, and I get that. That's fair. But it's like winning in a way that, like, say a DJ does, where, when you're up in tournaments like this, or like a Brooks does. Like, if Brooks is there, he closes it out. And Xander just doesn't quite know how to manage the the process of closing out and using your talent to get wins.
Well, he didn't have to do anything special. Like at the end of the day, if we look back, which is, I mean, easier said than done, but he only had to go 2 under to get the win today. You're playing with Jordan Spieth where you can see that kind of going off the rails a little bit. I don't know if it's, I love Xander. He's such a nice guy. He's got like that, he's so well respected with his peers, and he's got that kind of nice like smile, and it seems like always like maybe he needs like that killer instinct a little bit. Like maybe being a little bit pissed off, like maybe that could help him with building a couple of these losses and then coming out kind of tasting that blood like Brooks does.
And he was still like, he still had a chance to down the stretch. So
absolutely
was the par 5, the first one in the back. He had a bad chip. He was around the green. He had a bad chip, ended up missing his birdie putt, made par on a hole he should have birdied.
Yeah.
14, drove it left into that cactus. A bad miss left. Like that. I don't know if you guys saw the shot tracker. Yeah. That one kept going a ways left. Made a bogey out of there. Had to take a drop. Almost saved. He had an absolute bomb off the tee on 15.
Yeah.
Ended up just short, which I think that is a tough hole to hit into, because you saw with Spieth how
I can run through. You want to be short.
You have to have to skip up. Like you have to land short and skip up.
And that was fine. He played fine.
He got his birdie. Yeah.
He played 16. He had a great shot in there and converted.
Great shot. To me, when he made that putt, I thought.
But he rattled that putt in. Like, it was kind of a weird. He knew the line because I think he always smashes them. But he that one really rattled in. I don't know. Okay, sorry. Continue.
But then 17. I mean, that's where you go from just making that putt. I don't know if you were the last one to putt out, but it was very quick from there till when he was teeing off on 17.
It seemed super rushed. I was going to bring that up as well.
And just from the moment he hit it, it was left in that water.
And I forget exactly what preceded that on the coverage, but it cut almost right to as he was driving.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like him standing over. So you almost wonder if you should, like, that's the shot of the tournament right there. Just because of how poor it could turn out. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot. It was a fairly clustered leaderboard. Like there was still, I think KH Lee was still relevant at that point.
Yeah.
So like there was a lot they were trying to squeeze in. I won't give too much forgiveness to the networks, but ultimately that you can't hit that shot. Like Brooks, think about what Brooks did. Brooks never gave himself a chance. Like he should not. Brooks's ego there was ridiculous that dropped.
Yeah,
but he played that to make a birdie. He played that to be safe and give himself a chance to make a birdie. Yeah. And that's what Xander should be throwing that thing so far out into that gully on the right that it doesn't even bring that into play.
Yeah, I totally agree. He had no business being anywhere close to that water. If you take a club, even if you take a club less and take the water completely out of play, I don't mind that. I know there's that centerline bunker that kind of brings into play if you do that, but just take the water out of it, and then he's good enough. I guess he was struggling with his touch all around though, so maybe he didn't want to leave a little 70-yard pitch or 60-yard pitch or something into a tough green.
Well, that's another thing. He still could have gone up and down and then birdie 18 to force the playoff, and then his third after the drop on 17 was really bad. Like he left that a good 25 feet short, I think.
Yeah.
And then almost jarred his approach on 18.
I was gonna say, and then needed to make eagle, and it's you never see, you never really sweat that, and that thing looked good for a while.
That must have been right on top of the pin. I was
sitting on the couch with my youngest who had just woken up from his nap, and I was like, he's got to hold this, Tom. You think he's gonna do it? I think he's gonna do it. Tom. And I was always right. I just had a feeling he definitely gave it a shot. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Adam, moving on.
So, okay, do we talk about possibly story 1 for some people, story 3 for us? I guess we're going into Jordan Spieth goes absolutely crazy on Saturday with a 61. Doesn't hit a fairway all tournament, it seems like. And then as kind of maybe predicted with some of his heroics with a chip in, huge putts throughout the first 3 days, that he couldn't continue that into Sunday.
First off, Saturday,
let's unpack the whole weekend, the whole tournament for Jordan. Go ahead.
Saturday was special. That was Jordan Spieth, he had 5 wins in 2015. He hasn't looked like that. Like that was the last time he shot a 61 too, was in 2015. We haven't seen that kind of energy from him on the golf course in a long time.
Yeah.
And let's face it, like Jordan Spieth fans were like freebasing on Saturday there. That was the fix they've been looking for a long time.
Yeah.
So, give them that.
That's like a junkie who hasn't had their fix in years, and they are going with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and not just like, yes, he dropped some bombs of a putt, chipped in. His approach play was outstanding. He was all over the course, and he stuck it from places. He hit to the middle of greens from places he shouldn't have, and then dropped those putts. It was just all kinds of special.
And then of course he had like they made the comment that he's been hitting it so close, he's only made like 53 feet of putt so far. I think this is on as he hits into 16, and then he drops the bomb and drops another bomb on 17. Yeah.
Well, and I think he ended up with like 125 or something. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Somewhere around there.
Sounds about
That's
right.
not even counting that 68-foot chip he had,
on 10
or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So he's got like almost 200 feet of hold short game shots.
I mean, it was awesome to see. Twitter was blowing up. Do I even ask the question? Is this is Jordan back, or
Do we call it a comeback?
is it a step in, like a really big step in his comeback?
I think it is for sure. He's going to gain so much confidence from this that I think for sure it's an important step in his comeback.
Yeah.
I also think he's not there yet, but I think the confidence that he'll gain from this is going to accelerate the process of him coming back. And let's face it, golf is better with him in the mix. Yeah. It just is.
He energizes the crowd. How much we'll have crowds in the next few months, I don't know, but he energizes the crowd like few other people outside of Tiger Woods.
I have to admit that when Spieth first became like kind of big, when he was on his hot streak there, I was kind of in my Tiger Woods mourning period where it looked like Tiger might not be coming back. I wasn't watching as much golf. Maybe begrudged Spieth a little bit for being this young hotshot who was winning right off the bat. I didn't like Spieth. Like I cheered against Spieth because he was just like the classic to me. Like this guy needs to go through some adversity.
It came too easy, too fast.
He's 21 years old, and he now is just like win. Like, and it seemed like he was making ridiculous shots and getting ridiculous breaks on such a regular basis that I think maybe he might have borrowed from future years there for a while, and hopefully he's paid his debt.
Having heard Spieth fans explain why they love watching Spieth so much, and then watching him, clearly he's just working his ass off trying to get back.
Yeah.
He has gone through that adversity now. He's such a character, and like his game is just like, it's almost greater than the sum of its parts. Like he just seems to have a way of
moments. He has moments.
All in the hole. Yeah. Like and that's it's so entertaining to watch. And I will get to it later, but I did pick Xander to win this week, so I was kind of pulling for Xander, but I would have been really happy to see Spieth win too, and was a little disappointed he wasn't able to kind of create some magic on Sunday.
Yeah. The thing with Spieth that I always kind of go back and forth is like his weird moments of like, I think it was the Open where he pointed to Gellerman, he's like, "You go get that," after like he drained a big putt, or like that famous GIF or the famous video, and then again on 17 on Saturday, he's kind of like pointing at the crowd, and like I don't really like. I have really mixed emotions. Like why do you need to do that? But I love his honesty the past couple of years of him like struggling. So I've grown a brand new appreciation, which I think you guys have as well. But I don't understand those moments. Like why are you?
I think with him struggling and everyone being asked about him, you see how much respect he has from other tour pros.
Yeah.
Not just for like what his game was and maybe will be again, but just for like what kind of guy he is. And I think that's makes it easier to cheer for a guy. Now, the one thing, I don't remember, Adam, if this was this week or if it was before the Farmers, but we were talking about Ricky and Spieth, and we were saying how, like, I'm not ready to roster them tournament long. I might start to take shots at them in showdowns because you feel like you're going to see them pop off in rounds before you are going to see them, put together a tournament. And I didn't take a shot with Spieth on Saturday, but boy, am I wishing I did.
I kind of think I said that I would rather be early with Ricky and then wait to see with Jordan, which now I kind of feel silly about. But Jordan, I think, went from 50 plus to win the Masters on Friday night to 25-1 on Sunday morning. Like, he slashed his
Those sportsbook are protecting their bottom lines.
Listen, he's got some history at that course. I think he's flashed at Augusta before, so they're probably smart to do it.
And I think 100%. Until this week, Ricky was the safer bet that he would be the one to get back into form first, because we have seen more signs of life from him, I think, in the last few months than we had seen from Jordan until this week. So pretty cool story to come out of the Random Waste Management Open.
100%. Before we move on to the rest of the leaderboard, Scottie Scheffler, the last one of the final group. Any thoughts, any kind of quick thoughts on him?
My quick thought is that I think he had missed 2 cuts in a row coming in here. So, I think he probably had a disappointing Sunday based on what he was hoping for. But overall, I think this is probably a step in the right direction. I don't know why he was missing cuts there, but, obviously a good, strong top 10 anyways.
Yeah, I think so. To me, he had an eagle putt on 13. So it felt like he had a chance to make noise on Sunday. He made the birdie on 15 when he was right beside Xander short, and he didn't actually have the best chip, but he managed to squeak his birdie putt in there. And then he had the bogey on 16 he was 2 back going into there. So even if he pars there, he's got a birdie 17 and 18. So it's the kind of bogey that knocks you out of the tournament. And we need to see Scottie get a win. I think we're seeing, his form last summer, it seemed like it was going to be any week. We haven't seen him that good for a while. So hopefully this is him starting to come back into form.
Yeah. So so the final group. The final group.
So you agree?
Sure. I'm just moving on. I'm trying to keep the show going here. All right. The final group seemed like nobody wanted to get it. A couple of guys that looked like they really wanted it. James Hahn lit up the front 9.
He wanted it very badly. Unfortunately, he didn't realize there was some more holes that still had to be played.
Yeah.
Back 9, water comes into play. I don't know if he took a peek at the leaderboard, but it just went off the rails quickly. It was a very quick rise. I think he had a 3 clear, or at least 2 clear.
He was 3 clear. He was at 19, and no one else was at 17 at one point.
Yeah, and makes a turn, and I think 4 bogeys down the stretch. Hard to see. I picked him in our Saturday night show for the final round, and I was doing my victory lap a little bit early.
Somewhat prematurely.
Any thoughts with James Hahn there?
Well, I mean, typically the back 9 played easier this week.
Yes, I think every day.
So, I was following some other guys, and whether they were starting on the front or the back was a big difference, because I think the back was where you could kind of make your hay. But he made his on the front today, and so you figure he's just going to cruise into the back if he's playing that well, and obviously did not take advantage of the opportunity. Because he got to 6 under at 10, and then four bogeys coming home.
Yeah. So I have, I track, as I'm watching, I track about 15 guys. As random people start to go off and shoot rounds, they get tacked onto the bottom of the list. But of about the 15 guys I had who, were in about the top 10, top 15 at the end of the tournament, no one else had a bogey on 13. No one else had a bogey on 15. Those are 2 par 5s on the back. He drove it in the water on 13. He had his second shot go in the water on 15. But even other people who had, like Spieth put it in the water on 15 too, off his drive. But he managed, he got it done, and he saved his par. So those are bad swings, but you still need to find ways. If you do
You need to go
wanna,
up and down. Like Xander did it on 17 as well. You need to if you hit the water, you need to go up and down pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, you were gonna make you're taking that penalty stroke, and you still wouldn't have made a birdie. So you just gotta, you gotta. If you want to win, you need to be a little tighter than that, and you need to take advantage of par fives.
Yeah. Another guy, KH Lee, was brought up on our Thursday night show. I was like, someone brought up in our chat, and I said, I don't know. Like, I think he'll be popular, maybe too much ownership. I don't know if he can sustain it. He went 66, 66, 66, 68. It wasn't until his final putt on 18 on Sunday that he was truly out of it.
Out of the turn. Yeah.
It was kind of crazy how he hung in there. Like, any thoughts on KH Lee?
Yeah, unfortunately I can't remember who that was that brought him up in the chat, but I hope they were playing him in showdowns on Friday and Saturday, because he was great. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good. Ultimately, he ended up tied for second with Xander. I think that's a really good finish for him. I don't have a ton of thoughts other than props to him. He played well all week. He took care of his business. Say Brooks, that improbable eagle chip doesn't go in, and he manages to bang in a birdie. KH Lee finds himself in the playoff to have a shot at this thing. Yeah,
that was such a hard chip that he made.
Yeah, I know. That's what
up over a mound.
It's a tough up and down.
Lie. Yeah,
it is.
It's unreal.
And KH Lee, that putt looked like it was good for a long time on 18.
It did, I know.
Until that guy, whoever walked in front.
I thought it did go in. I didn't know.
I know. Come on, whoever that was. Okay, so I think all the other notables on the leaderboard we will touch on later. So if you're watching on YouTube, download our podcast. You can catch. If you're wondering why we didn't talk about someone, we're going to talk about them in a little bit here. But are we good to move on here from the leaderboard?
I think so.
Okay, guys, there was another pretty large sporting event on Sunday, at least in North America.
The big game.
The Puppy Bowl. No, I'm just kidding. The Super Bowl.
I don't think you can say that. I think you're supposed to say the big game.
Oh, the big game. Am I going to get sued?
I think so.
No, this was my bowl of cereal I had. It was really big. I would say it's so big I call it super.
It was a superb owl you saw out there today.
But there was some pigskin match. Tom Brady got the win. So I have a couple of questions. It's rapid fire questions here. Okay, so keep it quick. I know you two like to explain. Yeah, let's keep it quick. Who will win more trophies? We have Brady with 7 or Brooks currently at 4. And I'm counting majors here.
Brady.
Well, I think we really need to take this further. No, I'm going Tom Brady. I don't think Brooks gets. What do we do into the push? No, I don't think Brooks.
Are we
gets
saying
to
Brady's going to stop at 7?
That's. I don't know. That's for you.
I think he'll come back.
That's for you to unpack. He said he's coming back. Okay, this one I thought I might bait you guys there, but okay, how about this one? DJ or Brady?
With majors.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going with Brady. Don't go me into that.
Yeah, I don't think.
Just because Dustin might win the next 6, I'm not going to bank on that right now.
I think Rory is the only person that could threaten, of active players.
You don't think Spieth after that 61?
Okay. Let me move on here.
We might be ruining your
Let me move on here. Another Tom Brady one. So Tom Brady has 7 Super Bowl rings. Does he have more rings than you guys have personal eagles on the golf course?
Yes.
I'll say yes as well. Sadly, pretty easily, I'll say yes.
I mean, I don't get to golf. I golf.
I don't think so. I think I'm.
You probably would have more than that.
Yeah.
Kev.
Yeah.
You've been playing better golf much longer than any of us have.
More rounds at a better clip.
A long time though.
Because I would say I'd maybe pushing 5.
I mean, I can't get it off the tee, so it's really hard for me to convert it.
And you don't hit drivers.
My 3-iron maxes out at 240.
3-iron into par 5s.
Okay, moving on.
It's Adam's protest of the distance debate.
I refuse to partake in this.
At one point on the broadcast, Bones said he has Xander penciled in for 3 majors. Spieth currently has 3. They're both 27. Who ends up with more?
I think the safe bet is Spieth.
Yeah, the safe money would be on Spieth for sure. I'd want some pretty nice odds for Xander there.
I'm not giving you odds. I'm just saying.
No, but like
Yeah.
I think if you were to be a bookmaker, I think you're gonna have to give odds.
I'm not
is a
giving
lot.
odds.
Like 3 is.
I'm saying
I'm not
I'm
saying you have to give odds. I'm saying that like you wouldn't. It's not an even.
Minus
because
105
so
plus
hard to
105. I don't know what you
I
want.
feel like you're downplaying how hard it is to
Yeah,
win
dude.
majors.
I'm not. It's more of a question if you believe Bones that he'll get 3, and if you think Spieth will win again.
Like,
That's kind of
how many majors does Phil have? 4?
5.
I don't
I'll
know.
look it up here.
Like that he's an
playing against
incredibly
Tiger
talented. What's that?
though. He's playing against Tiger the whole time.
And he underachieved in majors.
I mean,
whereas
clearly
like
it's
someone
easier.
like Brooks has overachieved thus far. Phil, I mean, how many second places does Phil have?
But that's the thing. It's hard to win majors.
Yeah, and that's what
He has
I
5
think.
majors.
Phil has 5.
I'm not going to come back in 2040 and hold you guys accountable to these answers. I'm just trying to get some good questions.
But you haven't brought out my boy yet.
Okay, I have one final question.
Okay, you want to take? I think Rory McIlroy beats Tom Brady.
How many does Rory have right now?
4.
4.
That doesn't seem that hard of a take.
Beats, not push it. So I'm saying the back 9 of Rory's career, he gets more than the front 9.
On the Scoville unit, that's like a Franks. That's barely tickling my tongue there. That's a hot take. Give me a break.
sounds like we might need to put something on this.
Okay, I'll think about that.
We won't be able to pay out for like 20 years, 15 years maybe.
Inflation's not worth it. Okay, last one here, because I don't think we're going to talk about him. Andrew Putnam played 72 holes at TPC Scottsdale without a bogey. So going back to your personal game, what do you think the longest stretch of holes that you have gone without a bogey in your life? I think mine's at like 3. I know actually for sure it's 8. And that's on a legit course. I had 8 pars in a row.
I have a hard time thinking that I had more than 4 or 5. I'm volatile. I don't just mean like my physical golf game.
I don't even know if I've ever got 9 holes without one.
That surprises me. Because you've had 9 holes. I mean, I guess
I've had 9 holes under par, but
yeah,
I've never.
That's what
I think there's always been
given some back.
maybe once. Yeah.
Anyways, a couple trivia questions. Let's move on.
But my game, I have not yet reached. I may be past my physical prime, but my golfing prime has yet to arrive.
I mean, if you want to go to the listeners and give like a 30 seconds on your golf game to clear it up, I'm happy to give you that time. I'll say I'm a 15 to 20 handicap. I can't get off the tree. I spray my driver every time, and I was a junior golfer, and I played maybe 10 or so rounds a year for my life. That's the level of golfer I am.
I think that explains it right there when Adam was saying it was a little Freudian slip. He said he can't get off the tree.
I'm just setting the stage.
So Kev, what do you got?
Well, I think at my best is when we were working on the grounds crew, and we were probably playing 40 to 50 rounds a year. I probably got my handicap down to around, 4 or 6, something like that. Never kept an official handicap.
5 to 10.
It's different, but the same. And since I'm probably up around like a 10 now at best.
Yeah, I think the problem for me in those years that we were getting so many rounds in is a lot of those rounds I was not necessarily taking care of my body and playing in the clearest mind frames. But
there were relaxation rounds of golf, a lot of them.
Yeah.
My biggest problem has always been consistency. Right now, it's for sure that I don't practice. My short.
Okay, that's 30 seconds. You're gone. We don't have to hear about your practice this year. Great.
So I feel like I at one point was a pretty good ball striker. A bit of I wouldn't even say Corey Connors but like my level of someone who just like as soon as I'm around a green, I would find ways to lose strokes. It didn't help that like my standing game with my best buddy was the only, like, we paid out birdies at $5 and eagles at 50. So like I never actually was trying, like, we would have matches during the match, but like if you were making birdies, you were coming out ahead. So like it really got me out of the habit of like trying to actually just play smart golf, and like all I would do is hit at pins.
And you guys putted everything out, right? No gimmies?
We putted everything out, yeah.
I remember that.
But since I broke my collarbone, my golf game has not recovered. So this is going to be the season. This is going to be the season where I get back into it and tidy her up again.
See, now that is a hot take if I ever.
I'm looking. The back nine of my golf career is going to be much better.
All right, guys. I think we should move on. Let's do 3 stars. 3rd star for the week, Steve Stricker.
Nice.
Came out there blazing. He finished T4, 65, 66, 69, 67, clean under 70 each 4 rounds. So he's the oldest player to finish top 5 at a PGA Tour event since Tom Watson, 2009 Open Championship. Steve is 53 years, 11 months. Tom at that Open was 59, so he's the oldest since then. It's also the best finish for Stricker since his 4th at the Open Championship in 2016 at Royal Troon. So 2016 is the last time. I think he has a 5th, but that first time 4th or better. So awesome tournament for Steve Stricker. He was actually in it the whole time.
Like, he was playing with Brooks, and until like on 17, he looked like he was in better shape. And
yeah, that's right.
Brooks just jarred that, and probably rattled. Like, Stricker's like, oh, I went from thinking I had a chance to win this thing to all of a sudden maybe not so much. But yeah, he was in this thing till the very end.
So talk about a guy who knows what to do on a Sunday. He started at 13, so he was 5 back going in. It was gonna always be a bit of a stretch for him to post a super low number and win, but he hit 18 of 18 greens today.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Like, that's awesome. That is like veteran savvy. It's like the old man strength that I'm hoping I will get one day.
Yeah, absolutely.
The other thing, I don't know if you mentioned it, wife on the bag. I always love it when these old guys, they're just like, oh man, I'm gonna be out on the golf course. Like, this is the person I spend my life with. Might as well get coached up.
I think of Lee Westwood. He said his wife on his bag. I told that to my wife, and I'm like, that's nice. Like, they get to spend all the time together. She's like, yeah, I guess so. I think that's just a hint that she's getting a little bit sick of me in this lockdown. She's like, I don't know if I go.
Hard, man. COVID's been hard on everyone.
I think I would stay at the resort.
I also saw a thing on social media of Stricker's daughters doing interviews on the driving range at a Champions Tour event. It was pretty good. He's obviously
like, apparently one of them like beat him or was close to beating him, and it like rattled him.
I didn't hear that story.
Well,
but
one is like in university golf, right?
Yeah, like they're players.
Yeah. Well, clearly, if they're giving him a go down the stretch.
Yeah.
Okay. 2nd star, Dustin Johnson won the Saudi International. He's won there. He's got 2nd there. He won there again. You might have seen the clip of. We'll talk about that later. Anyways, atrocious putt. He got the win, guys. His last 9 events, he has been 1st or 2nd 6 times. And that in those 9 events include the Masters, US Open, PGA Championship, and 3 playoff events.
Not exactly like opposite field.
He's been 1st or 2nd 6 of 9. It's absolutely absurd, the run he is on.
Craig and I were chatting today, and Craig brought up Rory, talking about how when Rory's firing on all cylinders, there's nobody better, and Dustin Johnson could give him a run for his money if he was firing on all cylinders too. Those guys
are the guys right now in golf that I want to see both of them have like both of them at their peak tournament going nose to nose. Like,
you know what? Tune into Augusta this year. I think it's going to happen.
I think Rory needs to get
I think they, and like, it's always a bit cheesy to say when they're firing on all cylinders, because it's just like golf is hard and everyone always has things they're battling. But like, to me, those are the two guys when they have their A game, that their A game is at the highest level.
It's just a little bit better than everybody else's, I think.
Yeah. And it's not that other people aren't close, but I think they're kind of the first tier.
Yeah. No, we're splitting hairs with that for sure. These, when it comes to the top 5 in the world, they're all very good.
Ron, JT, Xander, like those guys' A game is pretty darn competitive.
I think DJ's a clear 1. I think 2 is pretty arguable. Maybe about 5 guys.
I just don't think Rory. Yeah, right now.
Yes.
Agree. Sorry, I can't believe I'm the one that brought Rory into this debate at all.
Greg's been trying to bring him up all show.
Let's move on. I'm sorry.
Let's move on.
Johnson, great week.
Okay, first star, Brooks Koepka. Brooks is back. I just have one stat. We talked about Brooks for a while. I have one stat. Prior to his 68 on Thursday, it had been 3 tournaments and 82 days since Brooks's last professional round in the 60s. 3 tournaments, 82 days. It was the Masters on Saturday, his last round in the 60s. So yeah, he hadn't been playing good, even though I picked him last week and it did not turn out well. But that was a great tournament. He's the first star.
So do you think he's like wasted some of his swagger winning this non-major event though? Should he have bottled it up for the Masters?
No, it's the People's Open.
So we said it about Spieth, but I think it's true for Brooks. Like, I think golf is better when Brooks is playing good golf. He's I agree. Oftentimes golf feels like all the characters are so similar because there's the golfer type, and Brooks is just different.
Country club,
it's nice to have different characters around the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, I agree with that.